All right, welcome to another episode of the Business Spotlight. I am joined here by Ariel Miller. She is the founder of AriSha Diversified. Ari, thank you for joining us today and being the guest on the Business Spotlight. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Business Spotlight. Number one, Ari, it helps you be exposed to the network that we have here in Las Vegas in our local community, and also to the Action Coach Global Network. So I am excited to learn more about you, your business, and can you tell us a little bit about how long have you been doing it?
Thank you so much for inviting me on. I have been in this business for 2 years. We really started 2 months before the COVID lockdown.
Ooh, nice. And tell me a little bit more about your business. What is it exactly that you guys do?
We are a woman and minority-owned business, and we create a lot of custom products for people. We have a large hemp and cannabinoid company, one of the largest in the country, with over 4,000 different products. We have partnerships with Biomedican to manufacture medical grade terpenes, and we have joint ventures with glass here in Vegas doing commercial glass such as the Cosmopolitan Chandelier Bar and the Bellagio Conservatory glass and many other famous glass etching that you'll see across Las Vegas.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. How did you get introduced into that industry and what drove you towards that passion?
We wanted to get into the custom glass business because it really interested us, originally being a hemp and cannabinoid business. You get into custom glass and provide people with various items that would have their name on it or their text to their loved one that they could give as a gift.
Right.
Or even nice portraits or pictures or logos of their business to really be able to give people something custom that they want for themselves.
Yeah. That's a unique industry to be in for sure. And what is it that excites you with the business that you got into?
I think the most exciting thing is that it's always changing and you always are creating something new. So I love being creative, and being able to customize everything for everyone is really special because so many people have never had something with their name on it before. A lot of people haven't been able to make something custom for themselves, and getting into the custom business is quite exciting. And now we have even big brands coming up to us asking for licensing, such as the Whalers. They're a very large reggae group, actually also performing here in Las Vegas on New Year's.
Yeah, that's amazing. Congratulations. So part of the Business Spotlight is to educate and inspire people who are pursuing or wanting to get into business, right into entrepreneurship. So with that being said, what's been the biggest learning curve since you started your business?
The biggest learning curve is getting started in business during COVID, learning the logistics and also having to hire employees. As you know, we started 2 months before the COVID lockdowns occurred, and we had to hire 25 employees suddenly. So the question was, how do you hire 25 employees when no one wants to work and people are actually getting paid to stay at home and not work? And we actually were able to grow the employees quite rapidly, simply just by giving them flexible hours so they could choose their own schedule on a text if you're going to come to work basis, and daily pay. That was very important to growing the business. So it was almost like gig work, except we had more people wanting to work every day than we even expected, and wanting to work longer hours than they initially even thought that they would work in the beginning.
Yeah, talk about learning to adapt, overcome, and innovate, right? When it comes to the way you guys hired the 25 employees, and then on top of that, the way that you structured to pay for them, and being able to pay them daily, I think that's probably a game changer in a lot of people's eyes. So thank you for sharing that. Ari, what do you feel is the hardest part in being an entrepreneur?
I would say the hardest part is when you run a company, it's lonely at the top, and decisions aren't always easy because you see some of your employees really struggling with things in their personal lives, and sometimes it affects their job performance, but it's difficult for me to be the one that steps in there and solves the problem, because at the end of the day, you really just want to help people, but to also address that is hard.
Yeah. I know a lot of the clients that we coach, that's the biggest thing they share is that, being at the top and being a business owner is lonely, because there's only that circle or a small percentage of people that you could confide in with the day-to-day struggles that most business owners face, right? And for the most part, a lot of us, or a lot of them, they have to fake it and fake it until they make it, right? Until they can't and go tell like family, like, hey, here's where business is heading. So us as coaches, we serve as that advisor who they can rely on and coach them through that process of, hey, look, if we have a solid goal, we have a solid plan, we know what we're going to get at the end, right? What's your favorite part about being an entrepreneur?
My favorite part of being an entrepreneur is having a lot of people who are accountable to me, and I'm accountable to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm able to always have new creativity and insert my creativity into the business in some way, whether it's a new brand design or a new product, or even just a new direction that the business is going. But being creative and then also being accountable to all the people that I'm working with or that are working for me is quite enjoyable.
Yeah, that's a great answer. The accountability piece is you're building an ecosystem in our community, right? Is you're accountable to make sure that they get paid, that they're providing for their families or their loved ones, and they have a roof over their heads. And that's what you're doing through your company, is providing that sounding board for them. So that's amazing.
Thank you.
What would you say? Oh, you're welcome. What would you say, or who is the most influential person in your life, and how have they impacted you?
I would say the most influential person in my life would be Chuck Stebbins. He is a progenitor of seminal tech, such
Mhm.
as file sharing, P2P software, social media. He was the original creator of MySpace, and he's helped me understand business in a way of thinking in a decentralized manner.
Mm.
And having a decentralized mindset, especially today when there's a lot of different rules that businesses like to follow in society, like staying open from 9 to 5.
Mhm.
But being able to be flexible and decentralized has really helped my business become a more flexible business that people really enjoy working at and enjoy being a part of.
Yeah. So you're setting up that culture and that atmosphere where people want to show up to work. And like you mentioned earlier, right? The way you guys did the hire for the 25 people, you guys gave them that flexibility to
Mm-hmm.
pick up the hours that they wanted to work. And what that did was in creating that, ownership in them, to show up. Actually, they wanted more, right? Like they actually wanted to work more. So that's really, really good.
Yeah, and then empowering them to also eventually step outside of just showing up to work, but to be product creators themselves
Mm.
and to really integrate and immerse themselves even further into the business.
Yeah, as coaches, we always tell our business owners or our clients to reward risk taking, right? And that's how companies begin to thrive. Is they can't punish employees for taking a risk. They have to learn to be open and empower them, to take those risks, because that's what takes companies from good to great. So it's good that you guys are doing that.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. Ari, what do you feel? is a big mistake first-time entrepreneurs make?
I think a big mistake is basically just listening to the dogmas of others. A lot of people say, keep going, never stop, just keep going. And I say, sometimes it's better in business to fail quickly and move on to the next thing and make a business plan. But most plans don't really survive the real world. And by the time you finish creating a professional business plan, oftentimes the world has already changed and new technology has emerged and the business world has already moved into a different direction.
Yeah.
So I would say it's keep thinking for yourself and really follow your heart.
Yeah, I'd agree with you got to know when to pivot, because technology and the way things are going, it can change the landscape of a business really, really fast. So staying in that circle of people that are like-minded and are pushing you to do great things, that's really good. How do you push through your biggest business doubts?
I like to take a realistic assessment of myself in the situation. I believe that positive thinking is wonderful, but being realistic is honestly very helpful when it comes to yourself and the situation that you are in your business. And sometimes it's just taking a mental inventory of how your business is going, what steps and achievements you've already accomplished, and then where your business is going soon, and creating a strategy plan for the future.
Yeah. Here at Action Coach, we like to call those SMART goals, right? And it's staying like, hey, am I on task? Am I measuring where I'm going? Am I testing what we're doing and what works, what doesn't work? So I'm glad you've adopted that with your business. My next question for you, Ari, if you could start another business tomorrow, what would it be?
I oftentimes see all of these NEH programs and people who are taking buses, especially here in the Las Vegas Valley. A lot of people take buses to go see the Grand Canyon and different other attractions like that. And there's many events going on. And what I see right now is that a lot of these events and places have custom t-shirts, but they're not doing expressive t-shirts of the moment. So if you take a photo of the Grand Canyon on your phone, you may be able to find a Grand Canyon t-shirt in the bookstore or the souvenir store, but it wouldn't be the photo that you took on your phone. So I would like to create expressive apparel, whether it be glass or t-shirts or really anything that helps express the moment, whether it's a coaster or a picture. We're even looking into doing lucite acrylic box that people could take a picture at a concert, and instead of it just being stored on your phone in the iCloud somewhere for you to find 2 years later, you actually can bring it home with you on a beautiful glass block with the name there, with your name there, or the band's name, and whatever you really want, because it would be custom to you and to the moment.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I know there's a lot of photos stored in my phone that I've wanted to get out, right? And it's that procrastination, and having something like that would be very, very helpful even for myself. So I know you said you opened your business, 2 months before the lockdown, and as we're at the tail end of COVID, right? We're pretty much getting out of it now. Along this journey of business for you, what have you personally learned about yourself?
What I've personally learned about myself is that it's really important to listen to my own gut and how I'm feeling in the moment. I've felt like a lot of times, especially early on in business, I would doubt myself, and maybe I would think, oh, that was wrong, or I'm just thinking like crazy thoughts. But a lot of times it really turns out that at the end of the day, your gut really is right most of the time. And to listen to your heart and what your heart's saying, it's true. And a lot of times there are a lot of things that problems that I would have solved a lot faster had I just listened to my gut in that moment.
Yeah, that's a lot of that is like if you have that clear vision, clear mission, right? You know exactly what you need to do to be able to be successful. So like listening to your gut is part of, hey, do I have my mission, my vision all written out and I know what I'm working towards, right? Not only are you working towards it for yourself, but for your business, your employees, your team members. So I appreciate that answer. You know, as business coaches, we work with a lot of smart and talented people, people that are great at what they do. You know, we work with doctors, lawyers, architects, artists, and engineers who are wanting to learn and grow more about, hey, how do I expand? And some are at the stage of delegation, right? And are looking to bring the right talent into those seats. And to do the best job possible for their company. And what I've learned is that when it comes to being a business owner, right, and being an entrepreneur, there are no instructions to business. And that's where us as business coaches, you know, we get to guide, help, and mentor a lot of the business owners in getting and eliminating that day-to-day chaos. So as we get to wrap up today's business spotlight, Ari, you know, what are our exclusive offers that you're offering, and what's the best way for people to connect with you?
The best way for people to connect with me is right now to reach out through my LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm offering I have so many offers that I can really provide, especially to publishers and businesses like yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I understand that we give better deals to publishers for promo than any business in the current industry. And we have had people in our organization who created the first affiliate marketing programs, not what they're doing today, but the original partner to profit programs. And we can make anything from glass to apparel, shirts, coasters, anything really custom, because that's what we specialize in.
Yeah, awesome. Now, my last question as we wrap up, what's one question that you want to let the viewer know about, you know, yourself or business or, you know, something I didn't ask that you wish I did ask?
This is a good one. I haven't thought of this one yet. I think one important question for business business entrepreneurs to ask themselves is, are you ready to fully immerse yourself in the business? And I think a lot of people, they want to become business owners, but they're also working a job full time, or they have a huge family that they're taking care of on top of working a job with pets and, you know, a lot of other distractions going on. And
Right.
it's easy to get distracted in your life. So I think asking entrepreneurs should ask themselves, am I really ready to commit and immerse?
Yeah, that's a great way to end today's conversation, right? Is know that they have to immerse themselves and learning the different steps of business. As you start the business, you start doing everything. As you start to grow the team, you start to expand. You got to make sure you're filling it with the right like-minded people who are on the same. They understand your vision. They understand where you're trying to take your company, and they're doing the best job possible. If you really think about it, right, is some of the most difficult things that we've learned to do, we didn't learn on our own, right? We had our parents as kids to learn the fundamentals, right? Then when we went to school, we had teachers and mentors, and throughout even our education process or even starting a new job, you know, anything that was significant in life, we've had some type of mentorship and guidance. Same thing with business, right? In running a business, it's having that close circle, having a good business coach in guiding us through those difficulties and eliminating the chaos. So Ari, I appreciate you being on today's episode of the Business Spotlight, and I look forward to connecting with you in the future.
Thank you so much for having me on, and I have loved talking to you.